So the next talk is around the Geoscience Data Transformation Program, and it's nearing delivery of our new discovery and lodgement portals. We hope you've enjoyed the experience out in the foyer of being able to use a sneak peek of the portals lab. Program Manager Tony Perry will now take us through the program's progress and things you can expect to see in 2026. So take it away, Tony.
So this is actually my fourth time in doing this presentation on the program. So it's been an interesting challenge and journey over the last few years, not just for myself, but also for the team that's doing this. So I'll hopefully talk you through some of the things that we're doing on the program and what you can expect to see next year. First of all, I'd just like to acknowledge our sort of Aboriginal people as being the custodians of this land we are today, and also to acknowledge the fact that really it's down to that collaboration and the involvement with our Aboriginal peoples that allows us to get access to the areas we need to extract this information to then allow us to load these data sets into our discovery portal. So it's well recognised that we can't do that without their involvement. Okay, so program, so where we're at. Well, I'm not going to dwell too much in terms of what we have done. Needless to say, we've been very busy over the last few years. You would be wondering what we're doing otherwise. But I just want to highlight this slide I have used before, actually, and it just kind of explains a little bit of the journey that we've gone through as a program. So the very early stage of this program really is about trying to figure out what we're doing. So we had a mandate which was really driven by a strategy to try and improve accessibility of geoscience data. But the early part of the program really is about trying to understand how do we do that, what are the things we need to change, how do we make sure that we're being current and future-proofing for the solutions we're providing going forward for industry as well. So that's kind of what we've been doing on the bottom part, but we're up here now. So we're very much towards that final design, build, and sort of getting ready for delivery in the next year, particularly around the discovery portal and lodgement portal, which I'll take you through in a minute. The other big piece to this program has been around the need to ensure that we have been engaging with industry, and we've been doing that through a forum we have, which is called the External Reference Group, and that's a combination of people from petroleum, mining, or from our met sector, academia, just to make sure that, again, what we're proposing to do is tying in with what expectations are in terms of what we need to deliver at the other end. So there's been a lot of engagement with that, and we'll continue to engage right through the process towards deployment. So what's in it for you? Well, for those of you, I'm not sure how many people have had a chance to see us out the back there in terms of the discovery portal and lodgement portal we've had on display. I think most of the conversation has been, or interest, has obviously been around the discovery portal aspect. What we've been showcasing outside really is a bit of an early stage, almost beta, I guess, environments that we have for Discovery Portal. A lot of the functionality has been completed or near to completion. The work we've got on our hands now for the next few months is to really tidy up on that, on the work we've been doing, do the validation to make sure that what we are proposing to deliver and put out to go live to the public around the May time next year is what people are expecting to see. And the other thing you'll note here on these couple of slides is a reference to a phase 1. And the reason why I say that is that we, as a program, have had to do a lot of work, as I said early on, to try and understand what it is we actually need to deliver and how we do it. So we had always had planned that would be a phase 1 around foundational, basically, pieces for discovery and lodgement, with the hope that going forward there will be further funding to allow us to continue to enhance that. But I think what we have done for phase 1 in our discovery portal, I'm hoping will impress those that have seen it. We have had a lot of positive feedback today from those who have been across it to sort of make those comments that what we're doing looks good. So what are we actually delivering? There's a lot of things we are doing as part of that phase 1. The biggest one to probably note is the richer search results. So in the past, if those of you have been trying to search for petroleum data, mining data, you'll use WAPIMS, you'll use WOMX, you might use MindX. So these other applications that are out there, what this portal will do will actually sit across all of those data sets and allow you to do a search in one portal across all those types of data. So that in itself is probably a very good sort of positive in terms of what the discovery portal is trying to do. But we're also building smarts into that whole search aspect. And actually behind the scenes is something what we call a knowledge graph. In essence, it's allowing us to, if you do a search, it'll actually go off and make all the connections to other related information and bring all that information back for you. So straight away, when this goes live, the one thing you will see very quickly is the richness and the amount of data you get back will be vastly improved and be much more of it compared to what you may be getting back through the current systems we have today. The other big piece actually to note in regards to the search results side and how you can actually then download that information is that we're building in shopping carts, we're building in the ability to zip up. So you can go off and you can do your search, you can select the files you want to download, and it will create a zip file, which again hopefully makes it a bit easier for downloading, particularly with those larger data sets. Integration. So as I mentioned, the ability to actually search across multiple data sets. Our phase one will capture the priority data sets, I guess as we see it, and we've discussed with industry around what you will see on day one. The intent is to continue to develop more and more data sets in through the discovery portal, which means, again, more and more data will become available over time. The other key thing as well is around the download of larger data sets. So again, at the moment, you'll go off and use the current systems. You will find that there may be limitations in terms of how much you can actually download at one time. So the current maximum is around 1 gigabyte. So if you go and do a search at the moment and try and download something through WAPM's WOMEX, potentially you're probably looking at about 1 gigabyte as your maximum download you might do in one time. With this new discovery portal, we're talking terabytes. So really it's driven by how good your bandwidth is and how good your streaming service is into your environment to how much you can actually download in one go. But in theory, and we have been doing some tests on this, you should actually download terabytes of data. And again, view through zipped files if you want to do that. The other piece with the virtual zip as well, so a lot of the information in the upload side, so when data's lodged, sometimes it can be lodged as a capture of data in some form of zip. What we're trying to do is actually recreate that zip as it has been staged or originally uploaded into the discovery portal, and so allow you to have that digital view of what was originally sort of zipped up and provided, but then you can select which data files you might want to download and then download those through that process. And the other big piece on here is the inclusion of basic user personalization. Now at this stage, the very minimum we want to make sure we can actually do by May next year is to give the option to save searches. We've got lots of other ideas we want to do going forward with the other way we can enhance your personalization as you use the system. But at the very least, you'll be able to, if you're somebody who's using a regular sort of type of search, you'll be able to actually save that and continue to use that as opposed to have to reset it each time. The other point to note actually, which it says on the slide there, about 35 terabytes of data being made available. So we've been, over the last few months, pushing data through into our cloud environment and pushing that through currently WAPMs and WOMEX, which again will be available through the discovery portal. But to give you some idea, so at the moment we have available through WOMEX, there is about 1.5 terabytes of data through WOMEX, which wasn't previously there, which is about 12,700 files if interested. In WAPMs, we're talking about 14.3 terabytes of data, which you can now get access to in WAPMs, and that equates to about 39,000 files. So again, hopefully you're starting to realize there's a lot of data that's being pushed through the current systems interfaces, which will be available through the discovery portal as of next year. And we're certainly probably up to 35 terabytes will be the case. Certainly by the time we get to May, could be higher than that with the work the team are doing. What about lodgement? So we have been, likewise, same way, really trying to understand what's the pain points. So what are the challenges that people have when they are lodging data currently? And we know there are some challenges. Some of it's a bit manual. Some of it, the way the forms are created, not maybe the most effective or efficient. So we've been trying to understand, again, as a phase one, what's the bare minimum we can try and do? And part of that is really driven around the centralization, so having one place from a geoscience perspective where you can lodge your data as opposed to having to lodge some data through PGR or through the upload service, not the upload, the file transfer system we have. So there's currently multiple ways of lodging data. We're trying to push that into one centralized lodgement portal for you to do that with. The other piece as well, again, likewise with the discovery, where we're saying you can download terabytes of data. The current challenge point has been the ability to upload. So if you're lodging data, Sometimes there's limits to how much you can actually physically upload into the current systems. In theory, the new lodgement portal will allow you to upload up to 4 terabytes, if you so wish, of data into that lodgement portal. More consistent data lodgement. So again, it's more about looking at how can we, in the very first phase of this, ensure that there's a more manageable way of lodging data into the department. That's going to help certainly a lot with consistency of the information that's being captured, and to make sure we've got some way of helping towards the continuity around the data that's being submitted, which really comes down to efficiency of process. So by us trying to encourage a more efficient approach to lodgement allows us at the back end to be able to manage that data more effectively as well. So what's the future hold? So again, we're talking about a phase 1 release for both lodgement and discovery. We know there's more enhancements we need to do. So some of the things we are looking at doing, so we'll keep pushing data through as we are able to do that, and that will continue through. The enhancements to search, spatial and user personalization. So that again is really looking at what are the additional pieces we can apply for your advanced searches that's going to give you more value and more richness of the returns you get back. The other thing we want to do, actually, I mentioned about saved searches in the first phase for discovery. The second phase, we actually want to be able to give the ability, if we can do it, to allow that saved search to be passed on to a colleague. So it might be somebody else who's doing similar searches to you. You can actually save them and potentially push them on to them, is what we're looking at also doing. And the other big one we want to look at, which I know is important to a lot of you that are in the cloud. So all our data is stored in Azure. We want to be able to look at giving you the option to actually basically download your data from Azure to your own Azure environment, as opposed to having to currently download it into a staging area or a sort of an on-site environment, then load into Azure. If you're with Azure, hopefully the plan is to be able to do direct transfer from our Azure basically to yours. So that's something we're looking at for next phase. The other one we're looking at doing is requests online. So this is an important one. Now we know this is quite key for a lot of the people that may want to use or view data down at the core library in Carlisle. We are planning on actually having the ability for you to search, and then if you want to view something which is a physical item, to actually put that request through the discovery portal and to then make that request through that mechanism, as opposed to currently it's done through emails or forms you have to fill in. That's the plan. We'll actually have it in the next phase to better release that so you can actually make those requests through the discovery portal. Okay, AI. So very quickly on the AI front, so we've been talking a lot about AI today. A lot of the program really has been focused around trying to encourage enablement of AI. So we're looking at other ways we can actually use our data or make sure the data we are providing is in a format and a downloadable format to allow you to actually use in your AI environments. Quick validation approvals, that's really about lodgement. So again, if we can actually, the idea is to actually lodge the data into the lodgement portal and allow on the fly to actually have that lodgement confirmed to say, yes, it's correct, no, you're missing gaps, notify you where there might be gaps you have to fill in. So all this sort of, this functionality will come hopefully as a phase 2, improved quality and of data submission. So again, by actually ensuring we can actually do some automation around the validation of the lodgement will mean that the data coming in is a better quality and improve that process as well. And further streamlining of the processes overall. I just want to quickly finish by saying that if you want to get involved with other aspects of what we're trying to deliver from a testing perspective, we are planning to actually invite industry participation to do some functional testing later on in the new year. If you do want to get involved with that, please do pick up one of the cards. There's a card outside in the back there near us. Please take a card with you and just express your interest through the email. But likewise, any feedback you've had today and what you've seen, for those that have, or questions you may have, please do ask us through the GDP email address, and we'll take those on board. But expect more communication and more involvement from a validation perspective to happen in the new year. Thank you.